Let us construct now the character table for D2H point group. Now D2H point group, it's abelian point group. Total, see how many operations are there? 8 operations are there. Each operation is a separate class. By rule number 1, total number of reducible representation is equal to number of classes. So how many classes are there? 8. So gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma 3, gamma 4 up to gamma 8. Let me consider these are our irreducible representations. By rule number 3, summation of squares of dimensions. Let me consider L1 is the dimension for first irreducible representation, L2 for second, likewise L8 for the 8th irreducible representation. By rule number 3, L1 square plus L2 square plus L3 square and so on up to L8 square is equal to 8. Because 8 is order. Possible solution, L1 is equal to L2 is equal to 3 and so on up to L8 is equal to 1. So I can complete the first column of the character table. By rule number 2 and rule number 4 combinedly, here it's an abelian group, so only one operation is present in the one class. Therefore rule number 2 has no more application, but let us have the practice to apply rule number 2 and rule number 4 in combination. Let me consider for first irreducible representation unknown numbers as A1, B1, C1, D1 and so on up to G1. So by rule number 2 and rule number 4, 1 into A1 square plus 1 into B1 square plus 1 into C1 square plus 1 into D1 square likewise up to 1 into G1 square is equal to 8. And one of the possible solution is A1 is equal to B1 is equal to C1 is equal to D1 is equal to and so on up to G1 is equal to 1. So here I'll complete the first row of the character table. Now by rule number 2 and rule number 5 in combination. What is rule number 5? Summation of multiplications of two irreducible representations is equal to 0. Here order of the class is 1. So let me consider now unknown numbers for second irreducible representation as a trial. A2, B2, C2, D2 and so on up to G2. By rule number 2 and rule number 5. 1 into 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 into A2 plus 1 into 1 into B2 plus 1 into 1 into C2 plus 1 into 1 into D2 plus and so on up to 1 into 1 into G2 is equal to 0. It is possible if the 7 numbers are there which are unknown for us, A2 to G2. Out of those 7, 4 should be minus 1 and 3 should be plus 1. We can arrange them in how many ways? 7 ways, and 7 irreducible representations we can get. Detailed write-up for construction of this character table I am not providing here. It's a homework for you. You have to perform in your book. For final answer, what will be the character table that I am representing? An important point is the Mulliken's notations. I discussed that point. 8 irreducible representations are there and 8 are labeled. If you see the first irreducible representation, it is completely symmetric with the all operations. What is our rule? Dimension is 1, then A or B. And if symmetric about next, that's the principal axis. Total 3 are there, means exactly deciding the principal axis is a tough task, but from mathematical point of view, we are considering all are equivalent. So everywhere it is symmetric. So beyond doubt, a term A I have to use for irreducible representation. And since it is symmetric about the center of inversion, the G will come. So AG is a representation for first irreducible representation. If you come to second irreducible representation, dimension is 1, so A or B. Now, out of the 3 C2 axes, it is antisymmetric for 2. So majoritically it is antisymmetric. Therefore, the term B. Now we have to see the next operation about center of inversion G or U. That term we are getting. The planes are there and we are finding that it is symmetric about the first plane. Therefore, we are using B1 and G for symmetric about center of inversion. Third irreducible representation, dimension is 1, so A or B. Antisymmetric. Why? Because for 2 C2 axis it is antisymmetric. Therefore, the symbol should be B. And for second plane, that's a sigma xz plane, it is symmetric. Therefore, symbol is B2. And why for G? Because it is symmetric with respect to center of inversion. So B2G is a symbol for third irreducible representation. Similarly, we will understand because of antisymmetricity with axis, the B symbol is there. Because of symmetric with third plane, 3 term is there. And because of symmetricity with center of inversion, G is there. So B3G is our fourth irreducible representation. See the fifth irreducible representation. It is similar to AG, but only difference is in center of inversion and plane. The antisymmetricity is found. Since it is symmetric with all axes, the term is A, and is antisymmetric with center of inversion, the term is U, and such only one term is there, so distinguishing between them, the superscript 1, 2, 3 are not needed here. If you see the last three irreducible representation, you will find dimension as a 1, so A or B, but since it is antisymmetric for 2 axes out of the 3, therefore considering majority, the term is B, and since it is antisymmetric for first plane, term is 1. Here the purpose is distinguishing, and the antisymmetricity is the solution that we could get, and therefore I am asking the count the number of plane for which it is antisymmetric. Since with center of inversion it is antisymmetric, the term is U. Similarly, the last two terms, since they are antisymmetric with second plane and the third plane respectively, the symbols are B2U and B3U. From here, concept might be clear to you. The Mulliken's notation's main point is deciding dimension and deciding the term A or B or E or T. For distinguishing purpose, only we are using 1, 2, 3 or GU, prime, double prime. All construction of character tables we did. Now as a homework, we have studied in detail the construction of C2V and C3V point group. I inform you the write-up process also. Now I want work from you. You have to do write-up. You have to perform the work to construct the D2H point group stepwise. And if you completed the task, then just write the comment in the comment box as yes. I got time.